My family finally came to Taiwan to visit me after 7 years. This is my brother Jonathan from the United States and my cousin Nati from Israel. When they got here, they all said the same thing that everybody else says when they visit Taiwan.
Wonderful. Yum. That's really good.
I like it.
This is wonderful. I like the dry tofu.
The chicken is wonderful. Oh, that's really good.
Would you like another one?
Absolutely.
Everybody loves the food here, but why is the food in Taiwan so delicious? In this episode, I will take you to the vegetable market and explore the different types of vegetables in Taiwan. Many of these can't be found in the United States. One of the reasons that vegetables are so fresh in Taiwan is because of the short time it takes to go from the farm to the dinner plate. For example, this cabbage right here was picked yesterday afternoon in Lishan and then driven through the night till it got to the wholesale market where at 4 in the morning, Mr. Dai picked it up and then brought it to this market stand here where we can purchase it and take it home and cook it. When we eat it in our dinner tonight, it's going to be about 24 hours after it was picked. Because most of the vegetables in Taiwan are grown locally and consumed locally, everything is also seasonal. You may not see things all year round, and also we see many things here that we don't see in the United States. For example, this is the head of ferns right here. In Taiwan, the way you cook them is to chow them, which means to cook them at a high heat for a short time in a wok, just like that. It's very, very delicious. This is also something that we rarely see in the United States. I don't even know what it's called. Okay, it's not very good. That's all right. How do I retaste this? I can't believe they agreed to put me in charge of the fruit stand. I'm so confused right now. Give me those shots yet. So right now, because corn is sort of in season, 1 ear of corn is 20 NT, and it's very, very fresh and delicious. Another thing in Taiwan that we don't really have in the United States is this many different kinds of mushrooms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Different kinds of mushrooms. These I call spaghetti mushrooms. We don't have these in the United States. I tend not to like other mushrooms. I know I'm weird like that. I call these ones penis mushrooms. I don't know what else to call them. These obviously are portobellas. Oh wait, or are these portobellas? One of these is portobella, and this here I call pig's ears. We have button caps, 2 different kinds of button caps, and these floppy ones I don't even have a name for because I don't eat them. Cabbage is a big part of Taiwanese diet, and it's no small wonder because the cabbage here is delicious. This here in English we call Chinese cabbage. They don't call it cabbage here. Baby cabbage, the giant Lishan cabbage, the best cabbage I've ever had in my life, all 4 kg of it. This is another vegetable that we don't have in the United States. Oftentimes in English, people call these bamboo, but they're not. What it is a kind of a rice stalk that has a yeast growing inside it, which absorbs water and makes it fleshy and puffy and is absolutely delicious when you cook it on a barbecue or slice it up and saute it. Just allow that. Okay, yeah. Oh, I thought they peeled the skin off.
Nope, that's immature. So this is a more mature ginger. I think it's 2 years old, and this is 1 year old. In North Carolina, people can grow this, but they can't grow it long enough to get like that. This is much more perishable.
That is really interesting. I always thought this was just ginger, and this is ginger after you peeled off the skin. Thank you, Jonathan, for educating me. That's why they call him Mr. Knowledge. This is also something that we don't have in the United States. It is called a winter melon, and it can be eaten in 2 different ways. One is sweet if you make tea out of it, another is salty to make soup. I'm not a huge... No, actually, I do like this one. I'm confusing it with the silk board, which is also something we don't have in the United States, which I'm not a huge fan of. Mr. Knowledge has something to say.
Yeah, winter melons are a family of melons, and the honeydew is in the winter melon family. Asher does like honeydew melons, so he likes some winter melons more than others.
I think it's perfectly fine to like one person of a family and not to like everybody in that family. This is what I was confusing it with. This is called a silk board. I don't really like it, and all of my Taiwanese friends, they think I'm crazy for not liking it. Mr. Knowledge, do you have anything to add to this? So this rocket ship looking vegetable is a daikon radish, or a white carrot in Chinese. It's one of my favorite vegetables. This is very, very good in soup, also salad. I went picking for the daikon radishes in Meinong, Kaohsiung, and it's really kind of addictive, and you always try to pick a bigger one and a bigger one. and then before you know it, you end up with like 20 kilos of daikon radishes, which is fine because they were only like 10 NT a kilo, so it's not that much money. Then what do you do with 20 kilos of daikon radish? So then, it became this thing like,
oh, hey, buddy, I have 3 kilos of daikon radishes.
and then, all my friends are like,
Thanks.
they're very delicious. We do have them in the United States, but they're not nearly as common and they're not nearly as delicious. Another vegetable that we don't have much of in the United States is taro. It can be made into almost anything.
Taro ice cream, taro soup, deep fried taro, and it can be sweet or it can be salty.
For Western style cooking, you can replace potatoes with taro in almost anything.
Mashed taro or fried taro or taro soup. You can just cream of taro soup.
In Taiwan, there are many green leafy and grass-like vegetables that we never find in the United States. They also use the stem of the onion when it's flowering. These are sweet potato leaves, another delicious vegetable that we don't have in the United States very often. It's very simple. Just saute them like you would spinach and it comes out delicious. All right, now we have all our delicious vegetables, so let's go home and get cooking. After we got our vegetables, we picked up some fresh tuna steaks and headed home. So first, we make a salad. Most Taiwanese people are not used to eating raw lettuce, which I think is ridiculous because the lettuce here is absolutely fantastic. It makes the best salads. This size salad, it's about enough for one person. The 3 of us will just kind of have to share. So let's do the vegetables. Best way to grill these is actually in the skin and the husk. But since these were already dehusked, peeled, we're gonna wrap them in tin foil, and that will keep the juices in here very, very nicely. I think it'll stand in the frame.
What? Here's Asher taking care of the Jai Bao Sun.
Jiao Bai Sun.
Jiao Bai Sun.
Yeah, it means like white legs lady, like sexy white legs. And we're making it the right way, although it's even better if when you do this, it's already in the husk. This is already peeled. If it was still in the green husk, we would have just thrown it on here without anything. Well, let's sear these bad boys.
That is really beautiful with the light shining through the translucent tuna. We have a saying in the fire department when it comes to grilling.
Yeah?
If you're looking, you ain't cooking.
Ooh, just getting close to that burns my hand. That is a hot ass grill. And the rest. Okay, so, let's eat. Oh my goodness, it's burning my hand. I think I'll bite it. Maybe I should wait. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this eating thing.
I'm just gonna let mine cool off.
It's so juicy. Hot and juicy, wow. This is like delicious all by itself. There's no spices on this. Like it just has its own flavor.
Will you put some salad on my plate, please? Perfect, thank you.
1 spoon of salad.
There'll be room for more salad later. I'm gonna start by trying this bird's nest fern.
Which one's that?
Quite good.
That one. I think it's a bit too chewy. Like I'd still eat it, but I'd cook it in a different way. Because everything here is soft, but a match like as far as what I work.
Also, I think it's just nice to have the different texture.
I really like the flavor of the bird's nest fern.
Mixed reviews. A lot. Anyway, we're not promoting something here. If like you got a problem with something, just say it. Wow, that's a giant outdoor cockroach that jumped on you. It's huge. Where's it coming from? Yeah, Thor. Get it. Get it. Yeah, get it. Part of the joys of eating outside.
So I've never had anything that tastes like this before. It's
He's hesitating. It means he doesn't really like it. It's okay.
a little earthy, a little fermented maybe.
He answered immediately. No, he's telling the truth. So hot, so hot. I didn't learn my lesson the first time. I'm not traumatized by burning myself because I keep doing it over and over again. I'll wait. I'm learning.
How is it related to rice?
So this is my understanding of it. It is rice. It's the rice stalk.
I just realized what it reminds me of in the texture, not the taste. But the texture is the same as an artichoke, right?
True.
Yeah. So it's very much like eating an artichoke, but with a slightly earthier, less sweet flavor. The radish cakes have been one of my favorite things that I've had here. Stir fry is nice and juicy and spicy just from that one pepper. I've been a little bit surprised. I feel like most of the Taiwanese food has been not spicy at all. Even the stuff that says it's spicy is not really spicy.
So they're going easy on you? They think you're like a weak foreigner?
It's possible, but just that one pepper added the perfect amount of heat. Well, this tuna is excellent. It's very tender and flavorful. It's really good even just by itself.
Fish is really like one of the things that you can get here very easily. Like all of this tuna was 308.
So wait, we got all 5 of those pieces for $10?
Yeah. A lot of times in America, whenever you get a fish, there's no head on it.
No, so in Israel you get that.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, yeah. So when we were growing up, and we would eat fish with the head on it, we thought it was wrong. But most Americans, when I say fish themselves, you know, they get fish with their head.
Yeah. So cool.
I'm also like starting to slow down there. All right, damage report. So we still got a little bit of veggies left. Tuna, half a piece. Salad, we did a lot of damage too. Pretty good job, boys. Oh, I got a little baby inside. Yeah, I just barely fit.
Now that we've had all this, should we have some fruit for dessert? Well, maybe,
Like, I feel like I want fruit, but there's just no room for fruit.
maybe we should try calling Dad. It's not very often we get to both talk to him at the same time.
But it's been 10 years since the three of us were together. So we used to live on the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey circus train, RBDX. And so the last time we were all together was actually on the train. Jonathan was Mr. Knowledge. I was Mr. Snowcone, I guess. So yeah, we all used to live on a train together with, what, nine elephants? How many clowns?
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough clowns.
Yeah.
I remember when I came to visit you in the circus, I stayed at Pepe the Clown's spare room,
Yeah, which
Yeah.
was huge
which was pretty big, yeah.
compared to my tiny. My
It was a
room
big
was
clown.
about the size of this table.
He was a serious clown.
Yeah.
He is a
No,
serious clown.
clowns are serious. They're tragic, right? Like, clowns aren't funny, they're tragic. You can laugh at somebody else's tragedy. If you think clowns are funny and silly, then you have a misconception about clowns.
Or you like to laugh at other people's tragedies.
Yeah, which makes you a bad person. So don't laugh at clowns. Alright, thanks for whatever, I don't know, this seems like the end. We're calling my dad. Talk to you later, bye! Don't forget to subscribe and click and do all that other stuff. I was expecting you to turn it off because you got up, Jonathan, and you didn't, so I just have to keep talking now, but I'd really
I thought-
appreciate if you click it so that I can stop talking.
Our parents
Yeah.
always said, eat your salad, and we listen because we're good kids.
Yeah, they never said that, but sure.